Hello, Healing Warriors. I want to talk about the healing power of fruit and why it's such an critical food and plays such an important role in the healing of your chronic symptoms, your chronic neurological, digestive, endocrine, reproductive, skin, autoimmune, Lyme symptoms and conditions, random symptoms that just come out of nowhere that impede your life and they can be very difficult to live with. Why you need to bring in fruit into your diet. I know there's a lot of food wars out there and there's a lot of information that it's hard to know, okay, what do I choose? So let's think of it this way. The simplest way I can describe to you about learning what is the proper diet for you is just think about what is the most important thing that we need to be alive, right? That's air. That's breathing. Where does that come from? Where does air, oxygen come from? It comes from the earth. It comes from phytoplankton, from the oceans, and comes from our rainforests and trees that grow from the earth. What's the second thing that we need? We need water, right? It's a second process we cannot live without for longer than a few days. Where does that come from? The earth. Now, what's the third thing we need? We need food. Our bodies are very adaptive, right? They're very powerful, right? God created them to be able to adapt to anything that we're doing to work for us to keep us alive. But that doesn't mean that's the ultimate highest way to feel our absolute best, to live the longest, to have the most clarity and energy, to be the most optimal performing, functional human being that you can be. So this is where we're at as human beings and why we're getting so sick. Chronic illness is on the rise because we've been eating too many animal products and too much human created food with all the preservatives and fast foods and junk foods and toxins and dyes and too much fat is the problem, right? So what should we be eating from the earth is plants, fruits and vegetables and herbs and spices and wild foods, maybe some grains, some legumes. These foods are fine, but it's really the fruits and the vegetables, the herbs, spices, and wild foods that are the optimal human diet because of what they do in our body, how easily they're digestible, and the nutrient contents that they have. I know it's kind of crazy to say we all grown up on high-fat diets. I know I did. I grew up on meat and high-fat diets and your ding-dongs and Taco Bells and Jack in the Box and microwavable pizzas and all, pretzels and chips and ice creams. All these foods, guys, when we think about it, they're no good. They're filled with gluten and dairy and problematic foods that feed pathogens that don't have any. They're hard to break down. They weaken our digestive system, and our bodies adapt to that to survive in that. And this is what brings me to what fruit does for you guys. And the power of fruit is incredible. It is the fountain of youth. And doctors, there's you have to understand there's evil people in the governments, right? The one percenters that have been controlling the masses for a long time, narrating and putting out consumable options for people to keep them in the wheel, the money making wheel of eating these foods, taking medication, right? The pharmaceutical, all of it, it's all a money-making wheel to keep us sick and suffering because we live in a sick care system. Fruit is the real medicine, right? So doctors will say, well, fruit has too much sugar in it. And it's not their fault. It's just misinformation coming from the schools, and it's a narrative directive information, right, that they're spreading, and it's not true. Fruit sugar is 1,000% different, not even close to comparing it to high fructose corn syrup, the sugar that is in your baked goods, in the processed foods, right? That sugar is absolutely terrible, garbage, and it doesn't do anything for you. It feeds pathogens, overburdens your liver, and creates a lot of problems inside your body that will feed disease and build disease in your body. Fruit sugar is going to reverse that. Let's make a comparison. You wouldn't compare toilet water to high mountain spring water, right? Or high mountain spring water to ocean water, or gutter water to ocean water, right? It's water, right? It's still the label of water, the consistency of water, but they have completely different characteristics, right? That is just something that needs to be understood, and that's the same thing with sugar, right? Fruit sugar grows from the earth, and it comes from our soil, and it comes from plants, and is infused with living energy. Our soil holds phytochemicals, vitamins, trace minerals, and antioxidants that support our cells and bodies. And that's infused through the plant, infused with water and nutrients into the fiber of fruit, and then grows a fruit, right? It grows from a seed, guys. How magical. Just like we grow from a seed that's planted within the womb of the woman from a man, and they meet together where the sperm meets the egg, and voila, right, grows a human, right? The same thing is a similar process to growing a fruit, right? It's energy, it's living, it's life, right? So healing foods are filled with living energy that create life in your body, right? You can't eat dead foods like from animal products and process junk that will create death. And that's what's happening. Why do you think cancer is such a high rise in mental health issues and now chronic symptoms? So let's dive deeper into fruit, why that is so important for your body. So the glucose in fruit is filled with the antioxidants, phytochemicals, vitamins, and trace minerals that have living energy, and it's hydration, right? It's fiber, nutrients installed into the glucose, and liquid hydration, right? It's very, you have an apple, you can juice all of these things because they're filled with fluid. So our bodies are 70% water, right? Fluid, there's living energy, living water in our bodies. We need living fluid coming from living energy, fluid coming from fruits. So the fruit is going to alkalize our inner environment. Right now, if you have chronic symptoms, you have an acidic environment because your liver got too overburdened. Check out my previous video on the critical role of the liver. But the body becomes too toxic with toxic heavy metals and pathogens and adrenaline and built up of fat in your bloodstream. And now it's sluggish, right? It's like a stale, stagnant pond, right? Filled with bacteria. And that's what's happening on the inside of your body. We need to turn that into a high mountain spring river. Your blood flow is meant to flow fluid through your organs, functions, and that's what fruit's gonna do. It's gonna start hydrating your body again and bring it back to life. Like, think of a shriveled sponge, right? That's what's happening in the inside of your body. Your organs begin to even dry out because you're not eating living fluid foods, living energetic foods. A sponge so dehydrated, and then you put some water on the sponge and it just like it comes to life. That's what happens when you start consuming fruit in your body. And your liver has a glucose supply, and that glucose supply in the liver gets weaker and weaker, and now your cells start running on adrenaline, right? Too much fat buildup in the liver with toxins. Your liver loses its glucose reserves, and now your brain starts to get dehydrated. Your cells start to get chronically dehydrated. That's the root cause of disease. When your body starts to get too chronically dehydrated, we need to rehydrate your cells with those living nutrients that come from fruit, right? It's a fountain of youth, guys. Apples, bananas, melons, peaches, plums, apricots, grapes are incredible. Berries are one of the best. Wild blueberries are the most powerful food on the planet. My favorites are melons. Melons are so hydrating, pulling poisons out of the body. Melons and papayas. Papayas are excellent for digestive cleansing. We're talking all fruits, guys, right? It's God-given. It's grown from the earth. You guys, if you eat an apple, if you eat one of these fruits and you plant one seed, a couple of the seeds, and it grows a whole nother tree, and then you get another infinite, continuous round of apples growing, right? Maybe different seasons, but they're going to keep growing, right? New fruits, and then you eat one of those, and then you do the same thing. Right? It's abundant. It's infinite. That's how God created it. He supplied the foods that we needed straight from the earth, just like our air and our water. And now we need to be eating these foods so that we can cleanse our body. So the fruits are going to start to push disease out of your body. That's the simplest way I can put it. They're going to get in and push it out. And so a lot of people can start getting some uncomfortable symptoms when they're eating fruit, maybe like a stomach ache, or maybe a little bit of dizziness, maybe a little bit of anxiety. When you start eating fruit, you start feeling some discomfort in your stomach because people don't realize all the junk that's built up in here. Fruit's gonna scrub that clean, right? Imagine if you have a pipe and there's a bunch of debris in there, right? And you shove a hose in it, and now you see the other side coming out, all that debris. Well, that's what fruit is doing to your pipes, to your blood, to your stomach, to your intestinal tract, your colon, to your liver. These are all pipes, right? These are all things that blood moves through. So the fruit's going to get into your bloodstream. It's going to easily absorb into the cells because the fruit is digested very easily. And then the cells are going to receive the nutrients from your fruit, and it's going to strengthen your immune function, strengthen those killer T cells, those lymphocytes, those basophils, and now it's going to begin pushing out disease, and it's going to filter the old rotting proteins. It's going to kill off pathogens. You have pathogen die off. A virus explodes when it's killed off, and bacterias are killed off, and then toxic heavy metals removed, like mercury, copper, aluminum, lead, that are in so many products, and our world is so toxic, and all these things get in your body. The fruit is going to begin purging out of your brain, out of your muscles, out of your tissues, out of your cells, right? So that's a critical point of why we need fruit to heal chronic illness, because all the built up acids in our body, the fruit's it wants to alkalize your body, create hydration in your body again on the cellular level. I'm not talking about dehydrated like you need to drink some water. Yes, that's really important. That's just your bloodstream low in water. But the cells actually start to begin dehydrated, right, in your tissue, in the organs. And that's when disease builds. So fruit is going to reverse that process. It all starts with your stomach, right? Your stomach acid gets weaker from eating lots of meat, lots of dairy, lots of gluten products, because there's no digestive enzyme. They're hard to break down. So fruit is incredibly easy to break down. There's tons of digestive enzymes. It's just fiber and water and nutrients, guys. The glucose, it's in the nutrients. The nutrients are in the glucose installed in the fiber and the water, living water. So it goes into your stomach, and it's broken down in 3 to 6 minutes. Some of the fruits go straight to your bloodstream. Doesn't even need to be. It's practically pre-digested, like melons. And then it starts to rebuild your stomach acid, right? Your stomach, anything in the body can be strengthened again. That's how it created. Healing is God's greatest gift to mankind. So fruit will begin to strengthen your stomach acid, right? To regrow that, to start getting incredible digestion. Digestion starts in your stomach, right? So fruit is going to strengthen that. And then the fruit fiber and some leftover nutrients that haven't been absorbed into your bloodstream yet. And almost all other foods don't get absorbed through the stomach. They get absorbed through the small intestinal tract, because they take a while to break down. The acid just breaking down those foods, right? Like vegetables and legumes and all these other foods, it's in the intestinal tract. And then of course dairy, eggs, there's barely any nutrients in there. Your body's just running on adrenaline. And so eventually the fiber, after 3 to 6 minutes, gets into the intestinal tract, and then your intestinal tract will absorb the fruit's nutrients, and it goes up the hepatic portal into the liver. Your liver will take those nutrients and methylates them and sends it to your cells. And fruit is the easiest food to digest and break down. So many people with chronic illness, they have weak digestion. They don't even know it. You have weak stomach acid. You don't even know it. You have rotting proteins, right, from eating years of eating high-fat foods, dairy products, and then gluten that's stuck in there, like glue in your intestinal tract, built up in there, and proteins from meats that don't get digested fully. Little particles build up in the intestinal tract wall, and they rot there. And so your intestinal tract has a hard time absorbing nutrients. Well, fruit will break through that barrier. Fruit, the pectins in apples start to break down all those rotting proteins and gets into pockets of your intestinal tract and starts pushing them out. That's how powerful fruit is. And you'll absorb the nutrients through all of that, because it's liquid, living energy that's meant to absorb through cells very easily. And it's like fireworks going off down there. Your body's like, oh, it's getting hydrated, you know? It's like you get sunburnt for you're outside all day and you're just having fun in the sun. You forget to put on sunscreen, you get sunburnt, and you come home and you put on aloe vera, right? That refreshing skin, that's how your organs feel. And getting sunburnt, it's because we're not meant to burn. We won't burn when you have a fully cleansed liver and you eat fruit, tons and tons of fruits, right, to hydrate your cells, right? The skin's not hydrated. When you have too much toxic heavy metals in the bloodstream, the sun will pull them out and your skin will burn, right, because of the chemicals within your dermis. And that's why people burn, right? They're chronically dehydrated. When you cleanse your body for years and years and you heal your liver and you alkalize the internal environment and you eat tons of fruits, you're going to be hydrated, right? You're not going to burn. We were meant to live in the sun, in the earth, right? And I know this is mind-blowing information because we haven't been conditioned this way and we haven't seen otherwise. Well, that's why a shift is happening right now, because of how sick everyone is getting. And we're learning how to the truth of what our diet is that we should be eating to thrive. And there's never been a truth of what diet we should be eating, and it's not until people start getting sick that we really find the truth. And there are millions of people now who are healing with the medical misinformation, which is what I'm talking about here with what fruit is. For their chronic symptoms are cleansing, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 6 years, some people 9 years, depending on how sick they are. Everyone's got challenging times and hard situations that happen, but you keep cleansing with the medical information and fruits and celery juice and vegetables and leafy greens. Excuse me, your body is going to heal. Your body's going to heal. You start eating fruit, you're going to start pooping more. You can't overeat fruit. Medical medium has a mono cleanse where you just eat bananas for 7 days at least, up to however long you want, year, forever if you want to, or papayas. You can do all papayas, or you can do papayas and bananas. It's called a mono cleanse because it's meant to be one food. And so it's either bananas, papayas, or potatoes is what he recommends, because those are higher calorie fruits. And potatoes, right, these are glucose foods. Your body runs on glucose. Remember, they're going to detoxify you. And it's really meant specifically for people with digestion issues, because the simpler you eat through these mono cleanses with these just one fruit, it's very easy to break down. So your body doesn't have to work hard at all. And then you're getting the nutrients as well to start doing the repair. The glucose is going to, once again, be broken down through the digestion process, through the liver, and enter the cells. You can easily enter the cells with the glucose, and it's the nutrients in the glucose that starts hydrating, right? It starts your cells start coming to life, and they can actually fight off pathogens, push out toxic heavy metals. So, and there's a lot of poisons that get built up in your muscles, in your tissues, your organs, your cells, your lymphatic system, in your brain. And so fruit will get in there into your brain and start removing it, like wild blueberries. Not your regular cultivated blueberries, wild blueberries. They're different. And these are the most powerful healing fruit on the planet. They get into your brain and start removing toxic heavy metals. People with anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD, autism, bipolar, mood swings, dementia, Alzheimer's. This is all from toxic heavy metals. And some neurological symptoms too can be solely from toxic heavy metals, like Tourette syndrome, right, and tics and spasms. They can be from toxic heavy metals. Fruit will get in there and start to purge it and start to hydrate your brain. Your brain runs on glucose, guys, and it's going to start to enhance your neurotransmitter chemicals, start firing off electrical activity again, because toxic heavy metals and fats, they diminish your neurotransmitter function. Now your brain's running on adrenaline, which is not what you want, right? That's how you fry your brain, overheat your brain, and that's so many people are running around with a lot of mental health symptoms and neurological symptoms. Fruit, it's how you heal that. It's going to cleanse the liver, and it's going to restore the glucose inside your brain. Fruit will also cleanse your lymphatic system. Your stagnant lymphatic system builds up with all these poisons, and it gets very sluggish, right? It gets dry like cement in there. It's meant to move like a sewer system through your body. It's secondary to your liver. Anything your liver can't hold on to, your lymphatic system will pick up. And so fruit will come in and scrub that clean. It's going to hydrate your intestinal tract. It's going to, right, it makes it so you can get more oxygen to your lungs. So your lung health will get better, and your kidney function is going to get stronger, and your adrenal glands are going to get stronger, because your adrenal glands need the glucose to stay nice and strong. And the most important thing is healing that liver, right? The fruit is going to start to strengthen and heal your liver so it can start detoxifying these poisons out of your body, because pathogens, viruses, Epstein-Barr virus, shingles virus, streptococcus, these all they all feed on toxic heavy metals in your body, and you got to get them out. Fruit is going to detoxify you, right? So you want to eat a high fruit diet. Like I said, you can't overeat these foods. So if you have diabetes, or if you have pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or you're hypoglycemic, fruit is going to reverse that, because it's the fat in the bloodstream that causes your glucose levels to rise. because the glucose can't get in if there's fat surrounding the cells, right? It's creating a barrier. So fruit will come in and clean out the fat, and then it'll absorb into your cells easier. So people are healing the type 2 diabetes and prediabetes and hypoglycemic with plant-based, low-fat diets, right? That's the real cause of that. I'll make a whole nother video on that. But fruit's incredible. It's helped me heal severe constipation. 1 week of eating just fruits and vegetables, I was starting to go to the bathroom every day. I had constipation my entire life before that, going once every 4 days. It was miserable. And 1 week, after 1 week, boom, eating, pooping once a day. And after 2 years of cleansing, right, pooping 2 or 3 times a day. And after 4 years, I was pooping 3 to 6 times a day and cleansing so much more efficiently because of fruit hydrating my body, removing all the junk. I was very, very sick, so it took me a long time. I'd eat melons every morning for breakfast on an empty stomach, cleansing my intestinal tract, all those proteins, cleansing my colon, right? We got to cleanse the colon. The colon gets backed up, and so much disease comes from the colon being so stagnant. So fruit, melons, and papayas, and pears, and kiwis, and citrus, and apples, and I already said pears. No, and bananas, they're going to remove all that debris from your colon. Aloe vera is very good for the colon too. But you got to stay consistent. Yes, it's good to eat them. Okay, if you're not being consistent, any piece of fruit you do is incredible. You should be proud of any healing food you bring in your body. But if you've got chronic symptoms and you want to heal, guys, cleanse to heal. Get on the fruits, right? They're the fountain of youth, and sometimes they won't make you feel good through the process because they're busy getting everything out of your body so that you can feel good. So there's things standing in your way of having a fully functional, healthy brain and nervous system, a fully functioning and healthy liver, strong stomach, strong digestion. There's junk in there. Fruit's got to get that out because that's what's caused. There's inflammation from all the acids and pathogens and toxins and proteins and adrenaline. Fruit's going to get that all out. It's going to cleanse you guys very, very efficiently when you eat high amounts of fruit. You want to lower the fats when you're eating fruit because if you have too much fat in your bloodstream, too much fat in your liver, if you're eating it too close to your fruit's going to try to move all these toxins, and then the fat's going to clog your liver, and now it's going to back up in your bloodstream and be a problem because now the toxins can't eliminate. And when you eat fruit with cooked foods, especially meats and eggs and dairy and gluten foods, right? Those foods take a long time to digest, and they're hard to break down. Fruit's very easily broken down. So the fruit will mix with that food, and now it can't be separated, and it petrifies, right? It starts to rot in the intestinal tract because it's sitting in there too long. So don't eat it with those other foods. It's meant to be eaten by itself or with raw vegetables or with leafy greens, right? Fruit should be eaten by itself or with leafy greens, right? You can eat it with some raw vegetables, but I recommend it always with leafy greens or by itself. Right? A little bit of cucumbers or celery or leafy greens have mineral salts. It's actually going to help the glucose enter your cells because the mineral salts open up your cells and the glucose can get in a lot more easily. So eat your fruit like 1 to 2 hours away from eating any fat or cooked food so that it can digest how it's meant to and do the cleansing process, right? So eat as much fruit as you need to fill you up. Fruit is digested very easily and quickly, and it's not as high in calories as you're used to, like with meats and dairies and eggs and gluten. These foods are dense and they take a long time to break down. So you're naturally going to be more hungry when you eat fruit, so you have to eat more. Like I said, you can't overeat fruit. You can eat it in abundance. It's healthy, it's healing, it's going to cleanse your body. Eat as much fruit as you can throughout your day, right? Consistently snacking on fruit, right? Make a large smoothie, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 bananas, right? 2 cups of frozen berries, right? Any type of frozen berries. Add in some mangoes or some pineapples and a ton of spinach in there, right? Make a big, large smoothie with fruit and greens. That's gonna fill you up 1 hour, 2 hours, and then everyone's different depending on your size and what's happening internally. Then snack on more fruit, right? Eat another cut up a bunch of fruit, mix it with leafy greens, have a big fruit salad. You can't overeat fruits, guys. So you can mix the fruits and match them. You can eat one in an abundance, however you want. Just start eating a ton of fruit throughout your day, mixed with leafy greens, mixed with vegetables. As you're transitioning, you can eat, more steamed potatoes or baked potatoes and sweet potatoes throughout your day. Maybe even some beans and legumes as you transition from more of a standard American diet into more of a plant-based diet, because that's where you're going to get your healing from. So that can be kind of a transition as you ease your way into it. If it's too challenging, right? Slow and steady changes make big, long-lasting results. So it's okay if, like I said, if you slowly cut out troublemaker foods and bring in these healing foods, but you have to start undergoing that process. Actions is what creates the results you want. So lots of fruits, you can snack on a little bit in between your bigger meals of fruits and greens and vegetables, like every 1 to 2 hours. Set a reminder on your phone, right, to snack on fruit consistently to keep up your liver's glucose supplies, right? Because they're going to digest a lot quicker, right? And they're lower in calories, so you need to eat more. Once you heal and you heal your liver, you're going to be more sustained. Your body has to go through the readaptation period as it works on healing. It's like, oh my God, yes. Finally, I get the fruit. Finally, I can bring this body back to life. And you're going to engage. Your body's literally going to activate its healing processes when you begin just cutting out the troublemaker foods, lowering the fats. Don't eat any fat before noon ever, right? Especially you want to bring all the fruit in the morning. That's when you do the most cleansing. That fat is going to get in the way of the fruit actually doing its job. No fat until dinner's better. And you can even go completely fat-free. Your body's going to cleanse more efficiently and more intensely. So get ready for some good cleansing if you go fat-free. And what fruit is going to do is it's going to repair tissue damage, cellular damage, DNA damage. It's going to lower inflammation in your body to actually repair damaged tissue, damaged organs, right? Things that are weaker, weak liver bile supply, weak liver glucose supply, weak liver methylation, right? Weak stomach acid, weak nutrient absorption. It's going to repair with all of its critical healing energy, cellular hydration, and critical nutrient components that are going to absorb into your cells and actually repairing the damage and regrowing tissue, That's your body is meant to heal. And that's what fruit does. As your toxic load gets lower and your viral load gets lower in your body, right? All these things are going to start to repair. And if you start getting discomfort in your intestinal tract, right? That's all the fruit moving the built up of rotting proteins in your stomach, or moving the pockets of neurotoxins or toxic heavy metals built up in your stomach, moving the pharmaceuticals and the Advil you've been taking your whole life, or the Tylenol, or any other medications you've been taking, or the steroids you've been taking your whole life, moving it out of your intestinal tract, right? If you get some discomfort moving through it. When I started cleansing, after a couple days of eating fruits and vegetables, my liver started aching. I was really scared in the beginning, like, oh man, maybe my liver can't heal, it can't cleanse. Well, I started feeling it bubble up. I started feeling poisons moving through it into my colon, right? And then I started going to the bathroom. So it was poison starting to move through my body, and I can feel it. That's how toxic I was. And my liver was aching for years and years while I kept cleansing my body. I'm still removing poisons, right? There's so much poisons and pathogens that get built up on our body. Sometimes it takes people a long time. Sometimes it's quick changes that can happen, right? It's all God's plan, and it takes a different amount of time to heal, depending how consistent you are. But fruit is going to start moving all of that out. And fruit kills off pathogens, so you can create die-off. And when you have a pathogen that is killed off, it can create same symptoms as if it's alive. While it touches your nerves, you can get some neurological things that you already have. So sometimes it can enhance your symptoms as it's moving out toxic heavy metals, killing off pathogens. When the liver's trying to cleanse it out, all you're doing is you're cleansing faster than your liver can keep up. Your liver is moving it out. It's safe. It's 100% safe. But sometimes you can get uncomfortable symptoms when you're cleansing with lots of fruits. That's why, if you ask me, that's why there's so much confusion around fruits and why they're good or bad in high quantities for people, because people can get uncomfortable symptoms. Well, that's just detox. That's because medical industries, Western medicine doesn't understand what's actually happening in here and causing disease. But fruit's going to remove it all. And that's not an easy process. A lot of my symptoms got worse before they got better. I knew I had to go through that. The cleansing process, just healing reactions. That's all it is. It's 100% safe. It's uncomfortable, but you have to trust it, right? You got to eat and poop, meditate, eat, poop, meditate, eat, poop, meditate, to cleanse your body, to heal chronic illness. But that's what I got for you guys on fruit. If you have questions, ask them in the comments below. Follow me on my Instagram, KCCACEY.Scott. And I'm talking about healing disease, chronic symptoms with the medical me information, with the spiritual mindset, and with the foods of the earth, right? It just makes sense. We got to return to what is natural, right? We've gotten too far away from that. And now your life is just being redirected. Be compassionate with yourself. I know it's hard. Make changes at a pace that's good for you, right? If you're sensitive, you're getting a lot of reactions from the fruit, it's okay to slow down. If it's too much, I definitely encourage you to push through them, right? Push through that cleansing process, because that's when they heal you, help you get there a lot sooner. But I understand sometimes you have to work and you can get fatigued and tired during cleansing. You get a little brain fog during cleansing. Sometimes these things can happen. It's completely normal. It's all that debris that's got to get out, so push through it. But you can also slow down and back off a little bit to give yourself a little break. That's completely fine. But understanding that you are safe, this is safe, and it's ultimately what's going to get you to your full health, because that's what it's all about. So we got to push that cleansing with fruits. Lots and lots of fruits and leafy greens and vegetables and celery juice and medical medium information. So get on your fruits and keep cleansing those livers so that you can fully heal your chronic symptoms and get to your full health. I love you guys.